inspired by reports and local legends shared in different parts of the world. While the characters and specific events in this story are fictional, many abandoned schools have been the subject of unexplained experiences reported by visitors. The old Hawthorne Elementary School had stood empty for nearly 20 years on the outskirts of Millbrook. The brick building was surrounded by rusted swings, overgrown weeds, and broken classroom windows. Every evening, the wind carried strange echoes through its empty halls. Local residents avoided the place after sunset. Some claimed they had heard children laughing when no one was there. Others reported seeing lights moving through the classrooms, despite the building having no electricity. Most people dismissed the stories as imagination. Daniel Brooks, a 34-year-old documentary filmmaker, did not believe in ghosts. He specialized in investigating places surrounded by myths and urban legends. After hearing about Hawthorne School, he decided to spend one night inside and record everything with cameras and audio equipment. He arrived shortly before sunset with 2 cameras, flashlights, extra batteries, and a voice recorder. The building looked even older than photographs suggested. The front entrance creaked open with little effort, releasing the smell of dust and mold that had built up over decades. Inside, faded classroom posters still hung on the walls. Tiny wooden desks remained neatly arranged as though students had simply disappeared one afternoon. Children's drawings decorated bulletin boards, their colors faded by time. Daniel set up cameras in the main hallway, the library, and the largest classroom. By 9 p.m., darkness had completely surrounded the school. For the first 2 hours, nothing unusual happened. Then, just after 11, one of his cameras suddenly shut off. Thinking the battery had failed, Daniel walked toward the hallway. As he approached, he noticed something strange. The classroom doors that had all been open earlier were now closed. He clearly remembered leaving them open. Trying to remain calm, he reopened each door and checked every room. Nothing appeared out of place. As he returned to the hallway, a faint sound echoed through the building. It sounded like children whispering. Daniel stopped walking. The whispers lasted only a few seconds before complete silence returned. Assuming it was the wind passing through broken windows, he continued filming. Around midnight, the temperature dropped dramatically. His breath became visible in the air. At that exact moment, the voice recorder resting on a nearby desk activated by itself. It captured nearly 30 seconds of audio despite no one touching it. Daniel couldn't hear anything unusual while standing there, but he marked the time for later review. A few minutes later, another sound broke the silence. Footsteps. Slow. Steady. They came from the second floor. Daniel climbed the old staircase carefully. Every flashlight beam revealed nothing except peeling paint and abandoned classrooms. Yet the footsteps continued ahead of him. Whenever he reached the end of a hallway, they stopped. Whenever he turned back, they started again. It felt as though someone wanted him to keep following. Finally, he entered what had once been the music classroom. The room was empty. Then, without warning, one dusty piano key pressed down by itself. A single note echoed throughout the building. Daniel immediately inspected the piano. No wires, no hidden mechanisms, no animals nearby. Before he could step away, another key slowly moved downward, then another. 3 notes played in complete silence. His heartbeat raced. Suddenly, every camera monitor lost signal at once. The screens turned black. Only static remained. The building became unnaturally quiet. Then came the laughter. Not loud, just soft children's laughter drifting through the hallway outside. Daniel rushed into the corridor, shining his flashlight in every direction. Nobody was there. Yet the laughter continued for nearly 10 seconds before fading away. Deciding he had gathered enough footage, he packed his equipment and headed toward the exit. As he reached the front door, he noticed fresh chalk writing across a blackboard near the entrance. It hadn't been there earlier. The message read, "Don't leave us alone." Daniel stared in disbelief. He photographed the words immediately. Less than a minute later, after unlocking the front doors, he looked back one final time. The writing had disappeared. Only the dusty blackboard remained. Shaken, Daniel drove home before sunrise. The following afternoon, he reviewed every recording. Most of the footage showed empty hallways. However, the audio recorder captured something unexpected. Behind the silence, dozens of faint voices could be heard. After enhancing the recording, one sentence became surprisingly clear. The bell never rang. Historians later told Daniel that decades earlier, a tragic boiler explosion had occurred beneath the school during renovation work. Although official records stated the building had been evacuated before the accident, local rumors claimed several workers and a teacher had remained inside. No records mentioned children, yet older residents insisted students had once reported hearing invisible classmates long before the school permanently closed. Daniel returned to Hawthorne School one final time with a team of investigators. This time, they stayed only until sunset. Nothing unusual happened. No whispers, no footsteps, no laughter. But while reviewing drone footage captured above the school, one investigator noticed something impossible. In an upstairs classroom window stood several small figures. They appeared to be children wearing old-fashioned school uniforms. When the team enlarged the image, the faces became too blurred to identify. Moments later, the figures vanished. The school was demolished the following year due to safety concerns. Today, a public park occupies the land where Hawthorne Elementary once stood. Families picnic there, children play soccer, and life continues peacefully. Yet some visitors still claim that just before sunset, they hear a distant school bell followed by children's laughter, carried softly on the evening wind. No one has ever discovered where the sound comes from.